Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Reality Hour. I'm Adam Samuel. Today, it is a sad-ish podcast, but because we are wrapping up our coverage of American Idol Season 18. This is our final thoughts on the season as a whole, kind of the highs, the lows, the Katy Perrys, everything we're going to be going over. Joining me for this episode is my co-host, Eric. How you doing today, Eric?
I am doing good. I have more positive to say about this season in retrospect than I would have if we did this a week ago, honestly. So,
yeah, I mean, American Idol. It's been about a week. No, it's been a week since Just Sam was crowned the winner. Overall, how are you feeling towards the season? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it mixed? What's kind of your takeaway?
I mean, it's definitely mixed, but it's mixed leaning towards positive rather than mixed leaning towards negative.
I don't know if I'm quite as high on the season as you are. I think, look, this isn't the season's fault. I mean, they were kind of dealt a bad hand, and they kind of made do with what they could. But there's no denying that what happened just tanked the show. It just shot it in its knees, and it's just kind of limping from there. It tried, but like I said, even I can understand, but it still overall wasn't great. And I felt like in a longer season, if we had more time to kind of get invested in these contestants, I feel like it could have had something good. What I'm trying to say is, it's not the contestants' faults. It's more that it's been a weekend. I don't remember most of these people from the cast, honestly. Like, I remember the major hitters, but usually I can remember the full list of top 10 and whoever. This time I'm already, some of these names are starting to fade away, Eric.
Yeah, I mean, it's the situation's fault. I mean, we'll just get into it. Basically, the format of this episode is we're doing 3 different segments. The 3 things we liked about the season, the 3 things we would change, and then we're going to each give our 3 to 5 favorite performances of the season. So,
yeah,
I said 3 to 5 because I had 5 and Adam had 3.
Mm-hmm. And also, I do want to say, if you are watching live, drop a subscribe, a like, all that stuff. We really appreciate it. Join us in the chat. Where are we going from here, Eric? So we are going to be, this is our final coverage of American Idol. Afterwards, moving forward, just to kind of do some housekeeping, can you give us a little bit of a preview of what's on the horizon here?
Well, Adam and I decided that we can't talk about America's Got Talent every week and go into every single contestant because it would be excruciating. Because, at least for Adam is sick of the show. I'm kind of lukewarm on the show at this point. So we're going to do every other week America's Got Talent. So we're going to do next week, we're going to cover both for premiere and the second week. And we'll just go over big picture highlights, favorite performances, and we're not going to go into every single performance. So
I'm not sick of the show. I'm just sick of Simon Cowell.
You're sick of
and what he's, the show just, it isn't what it used to be. Like, that golden era, which of Howard Stern and Mel B and Heidi Klum, and even He Who Shall Not Be Named. But you know what? Like, those were kind of the golden years, and it's just failed to capture it. And all it's just become is more. It has Simon Cowell's fingerprints all over it, and I can't get into it. But anyway, that is not the topic for today. We are talking American Idol. So let's kind of kick off with our top 3. The highs we're doing first.
Yeah, we're gonna do the highs. We're gonna steal Belinda Doolittle format. We're gonna do 3 nice things first.
Okay.
Which, by the way, if you all haven't listened to her and Sleazak talk for 40 minutes about this past season, it's better than anything we've done. So go listen to that.
Can we talk about that? Because I will be honest, I didn't get a chance to listen to it yet. Eric has been messaging me, telling me that I should check it out. Can you give us a bit of a preview about what was discussed in the podcast? What did they kind of?
I am not going to say a thing. You are going to listen to it because I'm just going to say listen to it. It was great. We have a lot of. I didn't agree with them on the contestants overall, but the issues with this format, yeah, they hit the nail on the head. They were pissed about the lack of performances in particular. and there was a lot of Bobby Bones slamming. So I'm assuming Grace in the chat would particularly like that. So.
All right. So 3 nice things. Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
You can go first.
Okay. My first nice thing, I will say, just overall impressions. Like I said, I don't have that big of a high thoughts on the season overall. I still think the best season of ABC was the first one.
Yes.
If I was to say my favorite, Grace in the chat says, always down for slamming the skeleton. Yes. My first high would be kind of the fact that we still have Ryan Seacrest here. And I genuinely mean that. I think that Eric would disagree with me, but on a personal note, I would say that Ryan Seacrest for me is American Idol, and once he leaves, I think that's the final nail in the coffin for the show. Eric is about to disagree, but before he can, I do just want to say
I'm not necessarily going to disagree. I don't think there's an American host they could find that would do better. I don't think it means the death of the show, but I think the show goes downhill fast if we lose Ryan.
The thing is, when I started watching, American Idol was one of the first, it was the gateway into kind of America's Got Talent and the X Factor. And what struck me is that of those shows, the only consistent face, there's one other, but I don't like to talk about that other person. There's one consistent face that has remained over the course of those shows, and that is Ryan Seacrest. And just to have him leave the show, I have a feeling it's coming. Like, I don't like saying this, but I have a feeling it is.
I'm not so sure, but
to have him on the show, it's if he was to leave the show, it'd be like cutting away like a memory. Like it's something like it's a big part in the show, and I'm just really happy that he's sticking around, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on Ryan Seacrest as a host this season? Kind of in general, your thoughts on him?
Cool.
Kind of
10 minutes, everything went great. So, and that's actually my first thing I liked actually of the season was that the ad hoc format worked great except for the last 10 minutes of the season.
I don't know about the ad hoc. Look, they did what
they could have possibly done it.
Yeah, but it's not a real Idol season to me. Then it's not this. It's Idol with an asterisk, and I don't feel any qualm saying that. Even like I feel like had the show been longer, we would more likely have gotten different results. Maybe even up until the winner's crown, but I don't really know. They tried, and I enjoyed it, but it doesn't help the rewatchability. Like when I'm watching like some of these older performances since I've been doing that, it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't also feel like even playing ground for some of these people. Like some of them have kind of nicer setups and they can kind of do more. Like Just Sam was in an Airbnb, I'm pretty sure. Like
it didn't hurt her, did it?
No, well, of course it didn't.
It didn't hurt her. So that I'm going to challenge that point. I feel like the problem with some of them are too nice setups. Slezak and Melinda said this on the podcast. They didn't remember Lauren's name, which kind of made me a little bit upset. But they talked about the girl who lived on a lake, how that probably hurt her chances.
Who knows? I mean, look, it's an all around just crappy situation. They tried, and I can appreciate that they did. If it were up to me, though, and Eric, you can disagree, I would have postponed the season. I would have said,
if ideal circumstances, I would have postponed the season. But the problem is they wouldn't be able to do it this year even, probably.
Well, I would have postponed it, but I would have postponed it I would have cut the season short once before the Hawaii episodes. I would have had that before we go live again. Save those 2 episodes as our reacquaintanceships kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And ideally, yes, that would be the better situation. Would be to wait, but they weren't going to do that, and so they made the best of it.
I mean, they tried, but it keep a lot of problems, like, come back to Katy Perry, honestly. I don't know. Yeah, because if you postpone it, you can't keep the judges around. But did the judges really add anything?
Everyone's gonna forget all the contestants.
But that's why you have at least those 2 episodes to kind of.
That's not enough.
I'm trying here. Like there is no.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, the format overall, they did what they could, but it was just.
Keep in mind these are things we liked. So what's your next thing you liked?
I know what my number one thing I liked is. Oh, you know what? I have it. My number one is the winner. It's the fact that we got a different result than the expected one. It's that we got something different, and it just gave me hope for the season that we can actually have different winners than just traditional what we've been getting. I mean, when Maddie won the season, it was kind of like that, and I was thinking, oh, like we could get different winners, and then when Lane won, I was like, okay, we're just back to where we started. And now with Just Sam winning, it reinvigorates me with a little bit of hope. But at the same time, had this been like I said, a regular structured season, I don't think she wins. I feel like I just can't see it happening kind of in the long run with kind of the bigger time to get invested in contestants, because Just Sam, I feel, benefited severely, like not severely, but like she strongly benefited from the short format because she had all her investment built into the auditions. She had like a 10-minute segment. She was featured at every round. People had time to get invested. The people who didn't were playing catch up once the live show started. Had those live shows been longer, people would have been able to get more invested and it would have evened the playing field. But since it was a shorter season, Just Sam was able to ride that wave, I feel.
Yeah, to an extent. I had surprising winner as one of my favorite things as well. Proving that anyone can win this show. I feel like first LGBTQ winner, first Black woman since 2013. I think she's the best winner of the ABC era. I know Adam and everyone else in the chat disagrees. But in retrospect, I'm happier with the result than I thought I would be this season.
Grace in the chat says, I think that if the finale had just been Sam and Arthur would have won.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Yeah. Like I said, Just Sam got very lucky, is what I will say. Like a lot of kind of dominoes fell perfectly in place, and she made it. She won. That's what I will say. Mm-hmm. Eric, what are you saying? What's your next?
Well, my last thing, since we already just covered my second just now, is despite the fact that none of them made it far enough, we had a ton of talented contestants this season.
You know, I actually want to dispute that a little bit for 2 reasons. Because in anticipation to film this podcast, I actually went back and watched a lot of performances of this cast. I liked the cast, but now starting to look back, this seemed like a very... All right, in old school Idol, contestants would kind of shape their run based on the artist they wanted to be. Like they would pick their songs. This season, the contestants felt I could feel more producer influence on them, like in their song choices. The song choices were they played into the story, if that makes a little bit more sense, of the contestants. I kind of feel like we never got any really good song choices. Everything was expected.
Well, that's not what I said. That's nothing to do with what I said.
Yeah, I was just countering a little bit, but the contestants...
That's not a counter, bro, because that doesn't mean we're not talented. It means they picked the wrong songs.
It's not that. It's that they were either suggestive forced or influenced and just kind of...
But you could be talented and still pick the wrong songs. So...
Yeah. It depends on how you look at it, Eric.
I don't think it does. I mean, lots of people have good voices and pick the wrong songs.
I don't know. I was just going on a tangent, I guess,
Yeah,
Eric. I'm sorry.
Gil had made a good comment. I think the quarantine definitely did play into Jeff Sam's hands. I think the fact that she was by herself in her apartment, I agree with that 100%.
I don't know if I don't know if I would agree with that so much. I felt like I said, I think she just rode that wave from the auditions. I don't think the fact that not enough people would care. Honestly, I don't think it wasn't like the biggest deal. I don't know. I blame the mentoring. Gil says I blame the mentoring. He didn't encourage them enough. That's just standard protocol on Idol. Anyway, should I go with my last favorite thing?
Yep.
You're gonna laugh at me because it's my personal thing. Like the big takeaway that I personally had was the run of Genevieve. That was the high for me. That was my favorite part.
Really?
Eric, yeah, Eric's gonna laugh, but I went into the season like pseudo blind, like, and I really was pulling for this girl, and I really enjoyed watching her. And yeah, look, her final performance wasn't amazing. What?
She didn't even make top 20.
But Eric, more parts of the episode were the like. We spent more time with Genevieve was on the show more times than she was not.
Okay.
Right? She was. How many weeks? We had like 7 weeks. Like there was more times when Genevieve was on the show than not, and I enjoyed rooting for her. She was my favorite contestant. I will say my favorite contestant of the season. As I said before, once she was eliminated, it was like being at a poker table and you have like 100 chips. I had put 90 chips on Genevieve. I lost. Now I was just kind of playing with 10 chips. She was my favorite part. Like I said, I really, really hope she comes back. Don't know if we're going to. Yeah, Gil in the chat. I heard that and can imagine Eric's eyes rolling. But yeah, that's what I got to say for me. Genevieve was the shining part of the season. I don't think the fact that I'm putting this here is both a testament to that I enjoyed her and also that the season didn't really have any moments. Like overall, there was no like big thing that I'm gonna really remember. There was maybe like one A-. I don't think there was an A+ here. There was like one or two I could maybe say an A, but nothing was ever kind of hitting that what I was really looking for. And you could say it's because of the format, you could say it's because of the coronavirus, but I don't have any, like, even last season, there were moments. You have Jeremiah, you have Lacey, you have the finish isn't strong, but there's at least one or two moments that I can look back on and go, that was epic. Like that was a good moment. I have nothing of that this season. So Genevieve being the strong suit is, like I said, both a testament to the contestants I invest myself in, and also just the fact that this wasn't my favorite season.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, 3 things we'd change.
3 things we would change. Do I go first?
I mean, we could 2 of them we probably have the same thing, so maybe all
Let's
3.
just get the obvious out of here because I think we both have this on our list. Bobby Bones, his mentoring.
Let's just I'm just curious. Well, that's my number 1 as well, of course. I mean, Katie found him useless. Zach and Melinda thought he was useless. They're correct. Bobby offered nothing of substance this season or in the past 2 seasons, and the show features so many contestants that would have benefited from a real mentor. Get rid of him, hire an alum.
I'm convinced this is just my opinion, but he's got to have like naked pictures of a producer or something that he's blackmailing them with.
He's literally there because he's the backup host.
Was it? I might be going crazy. Maybe this is just the coronavirus speaking. Was there an episode when he did host?
Yes.
When was that last?
That was last season, not this season.
I don't know. Look, of all the hosts on every show I've seen, Ryan Seacrest is always number 1. Always. and at the bottom is Nick Cannon. But anyway,
Wait, he's
always right. Him and Carson Daly.
You don't like
pretty
Nick
much
Cannon?
died. I didn't think he was that great, but anyway.
Really? What?
No, wait, no. I'm sorry. I apologize to both Nick Cannon and Carson Daly. The bottom is Tyra Banks.
Nick Cannon was one of the best hosts. What the hell are you talking about?
I didn't think he was that great. I thought,
excellent.
Look, a podcast for another discussion. A discussion for another podcast.
I'm like, were you misspeaking or something? No, you actually just like Nick Cannon as a host.
We'll talk about that later. But look, Ryan Seacrest is, for me, peak host material. He's the best kind of idol has to give. Bobby Bones, it will be a dark day when Ryan Seacrest is replaced for Bobby Bones. Hopefully it doesn't happen. Hopefully there's some problems with Bobby's contract, and I just feel like there could be even someone. Look, I get you kind of don't want to maybe spend too much money and you just want to name, but if you really need like a good mentor, look at the vocal coaches on the team, on the American Idol team. Like, you got Catherine McPhee's mother. She would be a good mentor for the show, I feel. Like Michael Orland, someone who's kind of been there, who knows the show. A mentor on the show should be someone who could sit the contestants down, and when they say they're going to do the Asteroid song, is going to say no. Like, but Bobby Bones will just be like, sure, just be yourself. just be yourself. Like, that's what a mentor needs to be on the show, is someone who's going to shut down bad ideas, someone who's been through the show.
Good ideas.
Yeah, and suggest good ideas and kind of steer away from bad things.
Contestants into doing the best performances they can possibly do.
As a mentor should. And yeah, that's pretty much anything else I feel to say on Bobby Bones' kind of a broken record, honestly.
Yeah. Next up, what's your next thing?
My next thing is Overhaul the Judges panel.
Same.
They're just not doing anything.
Yeah. Same, exactly the same. When the judges, it shouldn't be shocking when a judge gives a contestant a critique of any kind. Like when Katie would criticize a contestant this season, I was like, wow, she actually said something negative. It never happens. And that's a problem, because every judge on the show needs to give actionable, concise feedback and not sugarcoat things. Prepare these contestants for the real world. And these judges have had 3 seasons now, and 3 seasons they just continue to blow smoke. And I honestly think that the American Idol judging panel is the worst judging panel that I've ever seen in any of these shows.
They're just useless. Like, there's nothing
the worst
here
panel I've ever seen on any show I've watched.
They're almost as bad as like the voice panels.
No, they're worse. They're worse. Because at least Blake Shelton helps his contestants after the show.
But the judging is kind of on the same level.
Brought our winners on tour. So,
What? All right, you say this is one of the worst panels in the show.
On any
show. What in your opinion was the best panel on any show?
Randy, Paula, Simon, probably.
I never got to watch that, so for me, it's Howard Stern and Mel B. That's kind of, you can get rid of everyone else.
There were Black Factor panels from the past that I liked, but I think Randy, Paula, Simon's probably the best.
Simon.
And I say that knowing that now I can't stand Randy or Paula, but back then Simon was at least a good judge. He's lost it since, but
it's just the changing of the times. It's how sometimes you watch a movie and you say like, oh, they could never get away with that joke nowadays. That's just what shows are like nowadays. Like, you can't. Honestly, I think it kind of comes back to that moment that happened on I think it was Australia X Factor, with that woman who was too harsh on the.
It was before
what?
That was after the Idol changed everything with the Steven and Randy J-Lo panel.
Maybe they were like the ushering it. What was that lady's name? Natalie Kills. That was her name.
But that was
a very weird name.
Several years after Idol already switched to nice touches who don't say anything.
But I think that solidified it. Like that solidified, like when that, I don't remember the full story, but when that happened, that lady like lost everything. And I think now she's actually performing again, but under a new name. Like she's pretending not to be that name. But it was the first moment when like the show rebounded on a judge. And that the only other time that I can see that happening was Nicki Minaj and Mariah Carey. But like when that happened, like that was, for me, I don't know if that happened before. That was like a big thing when the ball bounced back and now the judges are the ones in trouble. And since then, just panels just haven't been the same. This is just me. It's a TV show, Eric. It's not a real competition. They're putting on a show. They need the big names to kind of get people in. But Katy Perry is like $25 million. Like, and she's probably gotten a raise like over these 2 seasons. Think what better talent you could get with that. How expensive is Adam Lambert? Like maybe
get him. Yeah, he needs to be on eventually.
You know, it would be good.
Change.
Did you go first or did I?
What?
Whose turn is? Oh, we're doing these together, right?
No, I'm assuming it's the same thing. What's your third thing?
The third thing would kind of just be the format. The kind of what would happen. But like I said, that's a little bit beating a dead horse. It's just the format just shattered any hope for the season, because when you're going from 20 to the finale in like 5 weeks,
4 weeks,
even worse, there's no investment. I didn't feel connected to anything. Like usually when my like the Holly contestant she's not a good example, but like one of my earlier favorites goes home, I have like some time to get invested in someone else. And I just had no chance. Like none of the performances didn't kind of do it for me. And the format, everything just kind of crumbled.
I'll be more specific than you were. I'll say more live shows is my number 3 thing.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of pretty much the same thing, honestly.
That's specifically what it is. We were gonna get that this year until COVID screwed everything over. I have to pray that next year we go with the plan that we originally had for this year, which is at least 7 or 8 weeks of live shows. So
yeah,
for that.
But we were supposed to get, how many weeks were we actually supposed to get here?
We were supposed to get 7. Which would have been...
I feel like even that is still not enough.
It's not enough, but it's a lot closer to enough. That's an additional week compared to last year, at least.
I used to love the days when it was just one contestant gets voted off. Like
that's never going to happen. So aim for 8 weeks of live shows, and that'll be good enough.
How many? If we have 8, how many people are getting sent home a week?
Some weeks just 1. Some weeks 2.
What are you going to do, Eric? This is the hand we've been dealt. Gil says in the chat, Katy Perry brought in a lot of teen viewers. The ratings will be worse after she leaves. You know, yeah, I can agree with that. But $25 million, I'm sure you can buy get on a current artist, kind of who's.
I honestly think if you get a panel of Adam Lambert,
look, if you need like a teen, someone who's going to appeal, like.
No,
Shawn Mendes, like how much? Like Camila Cabello.
No.
If you're going for that audience,
if you want to get the good ratings of people who still watch Idol, the people who still watch the show are the diehard fans. Give them an all alumni panel, which is what they want.
I don't think that's the case though, Eric. I don't think like the show isn't. The fan base is like a minuscule in the grand scheme of things. I feel like we are vastly outnumbered by like the casuals. I feel like to us it would appeal, but to everyone, I don't think people are gonna look like if we got a panel with Haley Reinhart, like you and I will be like yes, but everyone else will be.
I'm saying the big alumni names. Haley is an awesome alumni. But I'm saying like the Adam Lamberts. Get an Adam Lambert. Get a Carrie Underwood. Get a Jennifer Hudson if you can poach her from The Voice.
Didn't Jennifer Hudson say like not nice things about Idol recently?
I'm sure. I don't care. Money. I don't know. Anyway.
Money. Hashtag money. Are we going to start talking about our favorite performances of the season?
Yeah, let's do it. So I'm going to do my number 5 and number 4, and then we're going to switch.
I'm only doing 3 because I can only come up with 3.
So I'm going to get rid of my 5 and 4 first. My number 5 was Sanaya and Michaela doing The Prayer, which is slightly cheating because Michaela was on 2 songs on my list. And I really don't like the song The Prayer, but hearing the 2 best voices of the season duet earned a spot on my list. My number 4 with Francisco is Falling Like the Stars, which is the first time I actually took a hard look at Francisco as a potential winner and a potential favorite of mine. And the thing about this performance I remember is that when I heard the first couple words of the song, I was like, shit, why is he doing this song? Because I wasn't a fan of his, and I love James Arthur, and I love the song. And so I was really mad when he first started singing it. Because by the fact that he won me over by the end, all I needed to do. So now you can go for number 3.
Grace, before I do, Grace just said in the chat, Jennifer Hudson isn't on The Voice anymore. Am I having like a stroke? Was she on The Voice? I think I might be having a stroke. When was she on it?
Last year.
Wow. I totally forgot. That's really awkward that they had both. Did they have her and Kelly on at the same time?
Yeah, for 1 season.
I might have blacked out these years, but that's really weird.
Yeah.
Kind of like anyway. So 3 performances for me. It was pretty easy to put together a top 2. I think for me there is a clear top 2. That third one's kind of. I would actually though I would kind of echo what you said. I would give it to Sanaya and Michaela with The Prayer. just thinking back now, I think that was one of the strongest performances. This season did not have many strong moments in terms of performances. And yeah, I think that was one of the highlights. I feel like we could have gotten something more in a regular season, but for what it is, yeah, Hollywood Week performance, I would put in number 3 for me.
Okay. My number 3 is Jovan Webb Whipping Post, his first audition.
Good call. Good one.
And the annoying thing is that this first audition, I was so excited to see what Jovan was going to do for the season. Unfortunately, he never lived up to that first audition, but what a first audition.
Yeah, it was very strong. There were like multiple weeks when I was saying he was in my top 3 of the season.
Yeah.
But this is one of those cases that I was kind of touching on before where I could feel like either if he picked the song choices that he went with, it's his own fault. I don't know. Like I said earlier, I feel like there was more manipulation going on behind, like with the song choices
I don't
here.
think so.
Jovan's song choice. Well, if that's the case, then this is just that really lowers my level of like how I think about this cast. If this is their choices that they're going with, Jovan I saw so much potential in him, and it poofed like so quickly, and I saw great things in him, and it just didn't pan out.
Okay, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is going to be River by Francisco Martin. I think that was the closest thing we came to a moment. One of the 2 closest we came. It was well sang. It was strong. Not an A+ though. I would right on the border between an A- and an A, honestly, but still very strong. I enjoyed how he sang it. Presentation. It was solid.
I can respect that. My number 2 was Michaela's last performance on the show at The House That Built Me. This was the closest she came to a moment by herself. It wasn't close enough. She was doomed after singing this one, regardless of what she did. But I really wish that we got a real moment from her, because I know she was capable of delivering one.
It's the AGT curse. I mean, unless you're Nick Fradiani, you go out like top 11-ish week.
Yep.
Overall, Michaela, I didn't have many thoughts on Michaela. She's one of those names that like I almost forgot she was on the season. And it does, I will say, I'm gonna say this once and then I won't say it again, but it almost makes me a little glad that Genevieve didn't make it through to the top 20 this season because it might have been a bit of a blessing in disguise. And hopefully we'll see her again because a lot of these names are just like they're gone. Like they got like this few seconds in the spotlight and they're just people aren't going to remember. I feel like people are even going to have trouble remembering the winner. Like that's where we're at. And Michaela, I don't even remember most. I don't remember her performances.
Okay. Who's your number one? Which
I will say though, I actually remember the previous two performances I put in my number one spot both seasons last year. First year it was Nothing Compares to You by Maddie. The one after that was I Miss You by Lacey K. Booth. And this is going to continue sort of the trend of the contestant that I almost kind of it's Julia Gargano, New York State of Mind. I thought that was I'm going to say it, Eric. I think it was the best vocal moment of the live shows. Eric's going to shake his head, but for me, that was the moment of the season for me. That was it wasn't like if I'm looking at Maddie's, Lacey, and Julia, it's going to be number 3 when I'm comparing Maddie and number 1. But it was close. Like it was good. It was. I would have given it an A. I wouldn't have given it an A plus, but that's the highest grade I think I would have given out this season.
Okay, well, my number one performance is no surprise. Lauren Spencer Smith, Respect, which is the best performance from the best contestant of season 18 and the closest thing to a moment we had all season. And it gave me so high hopes for her that were so quickly crushed in the next round, and it's so sad.
Yeah, I gotta just say, like, to our viewers, like, you gotta feel bad for Eric. All his favorites just neither of our favorites won, but like it was just like a dumpster fire of everyone going home. Like in 2 weeks we lost Genevieve and Lauren, and then you lost Michaela, and it was just it's like a bloodbath, Eric.
Mm-hmm. Well, the good news is, I still think this was the moment of the season. Respect. I think it was the closest thing that gave me like, wow, this girl was good, and didn't matter, but should have.
We didn't have this we didn't discuss the segment, but I do kind of want to bring it up to Eric. Is there any contestant you hope that we see as a returning contestant in the next season?
Nope. And the reason is I don't really like the idea of returning contestants usually.
What? No, that's the best part. It's like throwing off the icing on a cake.
I mean, only because I feel like if you've already been rejected by America once and it's going to happen again for you, it just, it's kind of sad. I feel like once you've been voted on by America, you shouldn't be able to come back for a second time.
Wait, but Candace Glover was cut.
She was cut before we got to vote on her, so that's fine.
So you're not saying returning contestants as a whole. You're just saying.
I'm saying once you've already been eliminated by America and not by terrible judges and producers, you shouldn't be coming back.
So what you're saying is there's hope for Genevieve.
She was cut by the producers. Yes, she can come back.
Okay, we're good. Yeah.
And I'm saying that even the ones I like Lauren Spencer Smith, I loved her. I don't want her coming back because I know I'll just be crushed again when she gets cut again at the same point. So.
Well, at least Alyssa did better. Alyssa's like,
yeah,
she's the rule breaker. She
never got voted on by the public. First time around.
It's top 20 round.
But yeah, it's a difference. Gil says top 5, everyone else should be given another chance. I mean, I think maybe for this season, yes, because of how much of a clusterfuck it was, but in general, I'd say no.
I just remembered something I would change. Okay. Can I go?
Go.
So, both of these seasons of American Idol, we had in the pre-show, we had one contestant gets, they get from the Dancing with the Stars, they get a free trip to Hollywood Week. In the first season, it was Brittany something, and this season,
I don't even know how the hell I remember, but it was Brittany Holmes.
how do you remember that? Brittany Holmes and Layla. Brittany and Layla Spring. Layla Springs, or was it just Spring?
Spring, I think. I don't know.
All right. I would change it so it is essentially a golden buzzer.
Yeah.
Just fast pass advancement to the live show, but in that live show you get the pimp spot, so it's kind of you get to make up for lost time a little bit and kind of get that extra push. What's the point of it if they just get cut so easily? Like, it is absolutely pointless. I think that is one thing you can change. Just give that person, like, they got voted on by America. Like, it's got to mean something.
Yeah.
So you agree with that?
Yeah. I'd say at least fast pass through Hollywood Week to a showcase round.
No, live show. It's got to be like, it could be like the golden. That's a slippery slope. Like me saying that is because the next season we're gonna have a golden buzzer for the audition.
No, we're not.
Would you be okay with golden buzzers for auditions?
Well, they wouldn't do it the same way on Idol because they just wouldn't.
But if we could,
would I be okay with saying, okay, you're good enough, you can just skip to live shows? No, only because if there were enough live shows that we would still get like 10 performances from that person, I'd be okay with it, but no.
Yeah, well, I mean, if the most obvious person who would have gotten it would have been Alejandro, and he had some good Hollywood Week performances in like the live shows, not before the live shows, and Eric can dispute what happened during the live shows, but I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, Eric.
Yeah, I can tell. Anyway, so plan for the rest of the summer.
It's summer, Eric. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. It is summer.
I blinked. It felt like it was December, like yesterday. Like it's what's
summer.
happening?
I don't know. So we're gonna be back next Wednesday probably to talk about the first 2 weeks of America's Got Talent. Might be Thursday, might be Friday, who knows? But we will. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe so you can be notified when we go live. And we will be happy to. I'm going to interrupt this actually because Gil has another good point. Yes, good send-offs for departing contestants. Absolutely. This was another thing Sluzak and Melinda talked about was how they just, at least when Melinda got cut, she got a goodbye video and everything instead of just the lights turning out on her on a Zoom call.
It's closure. Like it's.
Yeah.
I 100% agree.
Would have been nice.
I also love the sing-offs. Like those were some of like my favorite parts of like when a contestant was sent home. Like it was a bummer to see them get sent home, but at least they had like one goodbye. Like it was the "Play Us Out" song. Like I remember Haley Reinhardt's was one
awesome.
of the one that sticks out. Holly's was one that kind of really was just.
Allison from season 8 was the best at that.
Like when your favorite's gonna go home, like it's just. It's not just closure for the contestants; it's closure for the viewers. Like it's for us. Like Julia, who is like the closest I came to in becoming invested in a live show contestant, was just gone. Like they just said, "Okay, bye," and I got no closure. Like if for people who were actually invested in these contestants, like what does that say? What has happened is the show just there's no way to get invested and kind of. If I was a casual viewer, I would see no reason to get invested because the show doesn't have an investment.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what were we saying? America's Got Talent.
So next week we will be back for America's Got Talent week 1 and 2 recap. I'm sure we'll have plenty of annoying things to say about Simon and Howie, and hopefully Sophia Vergara doesn't suck, but we'll find out. And yeah, that premieres tomorrow night. I'll be probably tweeting about it a little bit on Wednesday. So,
I gotta tell you, like Simon Cowell is just starting to wear on me a little bit. Like I watched the X Factor. I'm kind of watching like some segments of Britain's Got Talent this season.
I'm barely watching Britain's Got Talent.
I did just watch it for Leo Shemtov, who is, if nothing else. There was a kid magician who was pretty good. There's some good dancers, but it's just the same thing, Eric. Like, it's just the same exact stuff. Like
I was blown away that Simon was honest and said, "I saw this guy in America's Got Talent." I was blown away. We both were so convinced that he was going to pretend he's never seen the act before, and he finally did something honest. I'm blown away.
These are positive changes.
Yeah,
but it's such a rare thing where we can say that on America's Got Talent. Grace actually points out Julia got the Good Morning America encore. I didn't get to watch that just because I'm lazy. But was it good? I think she did an original.
Yes,
if I'm correct.
Did, I think.
Anyway, so for America's Got Talent coming up, yeah. I'm not going to be watching it as hardcore as I kind of used to because it's like going to the fair and getting like some fried food. Like it's fine at first, but then you start to get a little bit like queasy and it starts to wear on you. But I am still going to watch it for the podcast. I am going to still give enough so that we can kind of cover the season. Once the live shows kick in,
it got easier.
If the live shows kick in, it should get easier. But I mean, I watched some of these clips that were posted on YouTube, and I will say there was one clip of an impressionist, and there's one segment when they cut away to do like the obnoxious like audience talk. You know, when like they cut away to like you see an unusual looking person walk on stage, and everyone's looking, and you see one person going, "Oh, that person looks really unusual." But they did that for this. And the person who starts talking, I paused the video. It's the winner of Big Brother 20. I was like, what the frig are you doing here? She's saying, what?
Is it really him?
It's her. It's a girl. And she's there. I posted a video. I posted it on Twitter. I was like, wait, go back. What is she doing here? And she's just like saying, "Oh, I don't know about this," and that's it. But I was like, "What are you?" It's like a Twilight Zone, like a weird crossover. It'd be like if someone from American Idol shows up on America's Got Talent for an entirely different talent. Like if you have Julia showing up on America's Got Talent, going, "I'm gonna do magic. Here's a card." Like it's just one of those. Okay. They're incongruous with each other, and I was just so. It took me so much out of the show, and I got so invested. But I actually did read MJ posted an article about the acts coming up. Pretty much the same old. Yep. Kind of, here's a story. Here's a guy with a very tragic story that we're going to exploit. Mm-hmm. And here's a choir that they're all sad. And yeah, Gil also says those are recorded after the fact, which yeah, what has happened to America's Got Talent? It's just so overproduced. Anyway, yeah, but final thoughts on American Idol, Eric. Anything you want to say to close this chapter of the season, to kind of put this casket in the ground and cover it with a lot of dirt?
All I will say is I hope this is the last time we have to talk about the judges and Bobby Bones. I hope. Holding out hope. It's not going to happen. We're all going to be back, and it's going to be just as miserable as it was this year. But I'm hoping.
Katy Perry's not adding anything.
None of them are adding anything.
But at least Lionel and Luke are cheap. Like they're probably like she's getting 25. They're probably getting like 2.
Like, for not taking as much as Katy is.
All right, in the chat, if you have anything you want to discuss, any comments you want for us to mention or touch on, now's the chance. But otherwise, such a bummer of a season. Just so, I think I would put this. Would I? Yeah, I think this would be my lowest ranked season, maybe. I think. I mean, look, when I'm thinking my worst seasons, it was season 17, this season 12 and 15. But this one's got, like, even those weaker seasons at least had some strong. Yeah, I'm advocating for season 17 and 15, but like at least they had like those standout moments. This season just kind of had nothing. Like I've said before, I will, if a show's gonna, if you can't be great, at least entertain me. Like on the X Factor, this season just did none of that. Like it didn't entertain me. It didn't kind of have amazing performances. It just happened, and I don't know if I'm going to remember it in a few weeks.
Nope. Anyway, let's wrap this up.
Well, I can say I'm Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at Adam Soapbox. Run the two websites, adamsoapbox.com and adamstvblog.com. I'm still working on a new blog post for my blog site. Stay tuned. Eric, where can we find you?
Eric Ascher on Twitter, bit.ly/EricLoveEds, ericascher.com.
All right. Well, before we end the podcast, I do kind of want to close things out with a bit of a personal note and a thank you. This is, we started podcasting with American Idol. This is our third year of doing it. If you've stuck with us over this time, thank you so much. Just for the people who have consistently been commenting and following us on Twitter and kind of mentioning these things, Grace and Gil, I do just want to give a shout out to you. There's probably so many more other people, but just for support, I want to say thank you for supporting our podcast, for kind of keeping us, for staying, for watching us and kind of keeping us as almost as invested for the show. I watch it. I enjoy the show because I enjoy talking about it with you guys, and just that you've made it that it's more. It's built on the experience of watching American Idol for me, and I want to say thank you to you guys and anyone else who's watching who has clicked on our video randomly at YouTube and somehow made it this far.
Gil, that will be in the fall. Rewatch of the past Idol seasons coming this fall.
Yes, that is going to. Yeah, we will stay tuned. I think we were going to discuss that we were going to do season 11 and 7. I think was what we described.
I think that's what we decided on. Yeah.
All right, we will. So stay tuned for that. The summer is going to be America's Got Talent. Although since it is every other week, we might need something to kind of fill in that like middle week.
Maybe we'll figure it out.
Is there any show that you're kind of interested in?
I just do a rewatch in between the weeks.
Yeah, we're still kind of putting together the schedule, but like I said, next week we will start our Got Talent coverage. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, any final thoughts, Eric? Any last minute comments?
Nope. This was fun.
Another season in the bag.
Another season in the bag. And we will see you all next week.
Hopefully next time I get to wear, next season I get a crown. I mean, I've won 2, you've won 1. If you win again, then that puts us on even footing. Like it's
not gonna happen. I'm not gonna win again. It was a fluke.
Why?
I just know it was a fluke. Anyway, goodbye.
All right, guys. Until next time, peace.